Hello, beautiful mamas. As a working mom, sometimes I can really feel scattered, unorganized, or simply just rushing from one thing to another and all over the place. Finding time for myself and finding my sanity can almost feel like an impossible dream. Can you relate? Well, this is why I have created my free Mama's Guide to Creating Balance and Harmony as my gift to you. This guide contains my top 10 tips to creating balance and harmony in your life, as well as 3 beautiful trackers to help you get onto your journey in a fun and simple way. I have found by incorporating daily self-care routines and practices in my life for as little as 5 minutes a day, I am feeling more grounded, centered, and calm. By me tapping into my best version through these practices, I am also a better mom, a better partner, and a better colleague. Well, really, just a better human being in all the ways. So, if this sounds like something that you would like to explore, click on the link in the show notes below and download your free guide today.
We were all born with the innate power of knowing and wisdom within us. The challenge for many of us is that we were taught to seek answers externally instead of searching from within. And this is the reason why so many of us find ourselves going around in circles, searching for new ways, but could never find the way. The womanly way. It's not the way. It's not my way. But it is a pathway to support all of us returning back to self, reconnect with our inner wisdom through loving ourselves, knowing ourselves, and reconnecting with ourselves.
Tell me and be honest. Tell me should I've known.
So we can start to find our own way as modern day women. Are you interested? Well, sit back, relax, and welcome to this amazing journey.
Hello. Welcome to this episode of the Womanly Way podcast. I am Lala Angela Wang. I know last episode we talked about I was just packing my bag, getting ready for Bali. And now, as I'm recording this episode, I've actually been back since Tuesday this week. And today's Sunday as I'm recording it. It feels like I need another holiday, if I have to be perfectly honest. I came back straight, jumped back into work, jumped back into all the things. And I seriously feel like I need another holiday. So I thought what we would do is to do a bit of a continuum of our last episode and talked about how I felt as a mom traveling for the first time on my own overseas, having a girls' getaway. You know what? It wasn't easy. Emotionally, it was actually really, really hard. As I got onto the plane, I was a little bit sad because I knew that night George would come home and expect to see me, and I wasn't there. And I wasn't able to tuck him into bed, and I can't even see him from his baby monitor because I'm up in the air. So I was a little bit upset, and he was a little bit upset when I spoke to him. But I'm so grateful that Scott got to take him to Wagga and build a connection with his grandparents, even though the first couple of days, the video calls were hard. And also with the 2-hour time difference, it's hard to get hold of each other at times. And, what's harder is as a mom, when your child on the other side going, Mummy, cuddle, I can't, right? All the way, 6 hours flight away. So it was challenging.
for both George and for me. But I always assured him that I will be home. So he will see me very soon. But also because I think Scott did a really good job making sure that his days were packed. So he was tired at the end of the day and went straight to bed. That has helped a lot. I slowly settled into holiday mode in about day 3, and then realizing, oh my goodness, it's about time to go home again. But this trip gave me a lot of clarity. It allowed me to reset. It allowed me to really reassess how far I have come, what I've done in the past 7 months, and what I really desire to complete in 2024. It made me realize how much I needed a holiday on my own. Just having the time and the space to unwind. I still did some business stuff, but it didn't feel like work. It felt easy. I actually had the time to reach out to prospects, to people that I know, and talk to them about business. In fact, because of the space and the time that I have, I probably spoke to, I don't know how many people I have messaged, but out of that, I've got 2 or 3 business opportunities just out of a 5-day trip. So that was amazing. I know at the beginning of the show, I said, look, I'm probably ready for another holiday. But I came back with a clearer direction as to where I want to take myself. I came back with business opportunities, career opportunities, and just being able to see things from a different perspective. Even though coming back to my day-to-day, I'm exhausted today. But at the same time, there's no brain fog. I'm just exhausted. And I found a very busy week. I want to use this as an example. Before I went, I actually was talking to a colleague of mine, and he talked about how years ago he had an executive coach, and the coach said to him, my suggestion would be to take a break between the end of July and early August every year. Because here in Australia, right, our public holidays are jam-packed at the front of the year and back of the year. So you have your Christmas, you have your New Year, we've got Australia Day at the end of January, and then Easter in April, and then we have NZ Day, end of April. And then we have a Monday off in June, and then a Monday off in October, and that's it. And if you don't take a break somewhere in the middle of the year, and it's the middle of winter as well, right? If you don't do that, what you'll find is that Monday off in October isn't enough for you to recover from a full-on year. And then you're going to be dragging your feet all the way till Christmas. So what you'll find is the last 6 months of the year becomes very difficult. And what end up happening is you'll find yourself wasting a lot of energy and time between July and December, simply because you're tired and you're probably suffering from burnout. And then what you then find is you need longer break during this December and January period to recover. And that was me last year. So I think what this week off has done for me on my own, and just really doing things that I desired that day. I actually caught up with one of my mentor, Leah Steele, when I was in Bali, because that's where she is. And she asked me, what are you going to do? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I feel like that day. Probably nothing. Relax, sleep if I want to. Just really chill. And that's what I did.
And the funny thing was, I live in Canggu. Stayed in Canggu. I didn't even go to the beach. I just couldn't be bothered. Right? I stayed at my resort a lot of times. I journaled so much. I meditated so much. And I loved it. I didn't even go, massive shopping or massive walks. I just enjoyed being in the moment, being guided to do whatever that my soul wanted to do, and whatever that filled up my tank. I know even I said I'm exhausted today, my tank is still full. I still feel that I've got a full tank. And the funny thing is that the biggest download I had while I was there is that I needed to go through the shamanic cycles through the season. And right now here in Australia, we're at the end of winter and haven't really rested this winter besides going to Bali. So I'm guided to take it easy in August. And I'll probably be sharing this journey with a lot of people, because whenever I say I'm going to take it easy in August, people will be like, what do you mean? What do you mean by taking it easy? Because, we still have our day-to-day. We're still mums, even though we're taking the pedal off a little bit. We still have a career and I still have a business. And right now, the business side of things is just started to take momentum. I don't want to take full pedal off. So how do we take it easy whilst not taking the pedal off? And I think this is something that I'm learning to navigate. And I feel that I need to do this winter, because otherwise I know me. I know when I don't listen. I know how I'm always planning things, always doing things. But also know the consequences of not listening to my spirit guides when they tell me to rest. As a manifesting generator, and I truly believe this is with a lot of manifesting generators, we are go, 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 go all the time, but it's not a sacral go. So what happens is we end up burning out so much quicker because we're going against what our energy, what our soul wanted us to do. We're wasting energy, essentially. Going back to that comment that I had earlier, if you don't take a break in the middle of the year, especially if you're in Australia, New Zealand, during this, what I called public holiday desert time, especially in the middle of winter, what you end up doing is wasting a lot of precious energy. Thinking that you got endless energy, but we actually don't. Right? Even though we've got this powerhouse in our sacral as generators and manifesting generators, we need to make sure we're not using this energy where it doesn't belong. So I would be experimenting this August with the intention to take it easy, whilst it's a bit like the book that I'm reading to George at the moment that talks about farms and tractors. It's a really interesting book. It breaks the functions of the tractors and different farm equipment into the seasons as to, what the farmers use them for in different seasons. And in winter, it talks about there's not a lot of things are growing. So what the farmers do is they plow the field getting ready for spring. And in spring, they sow the seeds, right? So really for me, and especially if you understand the shamanic cycles, in winter time, it's the time that you plow the fields. You're getting ready for spring. We're not putting the seeds in the ground just yet. We're plowing the field so when spring comes, the seeds can go in. We make sure that our field is ready. Make sure that, whatever we need to do to prepare it. But also in winter time, if we do it right, it sets up our next 7 generations. And I think it's even more important to think about it in this day and age. There's so much knowledge that we know now that our parents don't, right? In fact, I posted something about, there was a reel on Instagram that talked about what God has created mom, and there's so much guilt in it. And there's so little self-care, but it's always about other people. And I shared that reel, but my comment was, I don't believe this is how God designed us, but this is how society has programmed us to do. Right? How we have been conditioned to do. But it ends here. And this is the thing. And this is, for me, the more I tap into this, the more that I believe personally, my job is to end a lot of the conditionings and programmings that's been passing down through generations in my family line. Because this is what happens when we do the work. And we say to the universe energetically, we said, this ends with me. I am going to be this person that changes the story for my family. When you make that decision, when you do the work, you're not just changing the 7 generations after you. You are changing, depends on how you look at it as well. Some people believe it changed all the generations. But you're also going backwards. You are changing the history, the parallel stories through every single generation before you. So don't think that the work that you're doing now is just for you and the next generation after you. It's for all of the generations before you and all of the generations after you. That's what I truly believe. And that's why I believe, mindset work, personal development work, spiritual work, clearing, shadow work, all of the works is so, so, so important. As the earth ascends, we also want to make sure we're clearing our family lines, our bloodlines, to make sure that our entire family is rising with us, if that's what you desire, obviously. So for me, taking a break at this time of the year, especially if you're in the southern hemisphere, is so important. Because if you look at the US, they've got the July holidays. If you look at Asia, the golden month, which is in October, they take a week off. And in Taiwan, I know we have we have actually quite a few more holidays scattered over the years. Not as long as Christmas and New Year's for some of us, but at least the holidays are scattered, and then you get to take mini breaks. Like August in the Chinese calendar is the Moon Festival. May is the Dragon Boat Festival. So the Asian holidays are more spreaded. So you get to have a little bit of reprieve. But here in Australia and New Zealand, there's just this desert of no public holidays between June and October, right? So my biggest takeaway from this break is that I'm probably going to implement it in one way or another in the years to come. And my intention is to do it once a year if I can. If I can't, I'm going to make it happen because it's just so important. If I can't go overseas, I don't have to always go overseas, but I'll probably take a week off and lock myself away somewhere. I mean, sometimes I may not work because of Scott's work conditions. It's a blessing that he gets to take time off as well. But I'm not going to take it for granted, right? But even if I can take like a weekend off or just the days that he's not working, take those days off, I think that would still be super, super duper helpful. Or even, what I did earlier this year, for those of you who didn't listen to those earlier episodes, I actually took an extra week off my annual leave. So everybody went back on the 8th. I didn't go back until the 15th. I still do my mum duties. I just take George to daycare. But during the day, I'm having my holiday. And I think that works too, right? If your circumstances doesn't permit you to do that, you don't have anyone to look after the little ones for you to get away, then this could be a way as well. You can plan a little mini retreat for yourself at home. Or if you want to go to a hotel, take your little one not too far away from home, you can do that too, right? Like for us, actually, I think it would be kind of fun to do it there's a glamping tent literally about 5 minutes away from us because we live not too far from a national park, that we could actually do that. And I can still take George to his daycare and then go back to my little tent during the day, which would be kind of cute. So just some ideas for everybody to think about, you know, a little mini getaway. Especially, I think mums and dads, we all need it if you can. Have a little getaway just to recuperate and make sure that you come back fresh so you can carry on with the rest of the year. Highly, highly recommended, obviously. And, you know, if you need ideas, feel free to write in, and I'm always full of ideas. Happy to help and support. Or if you've got questions, you want me to elaborate more, we can literally do a podcast brain dumping session if that's what you like. Yeah, write to me, please. I would always love to hear feedback, questions, or even comment on this podcast. All of our contact details are in the show note, but the easiest way really is to reach out to my Instagram account, which is The Womanly Way. Nice and simple. And I look forward to hearing from you. So I hope you enjoyed the sequel of my journey as a mom going on a solo trip without family. I hope this has given you a little bit of inspiration. And I hope this has inspired you to also give yourself a well-deserved holiday, whether you're a mum or a dad, or maybe you don't have any kids, but still, take a break. Give yourself a break. Do nothing or just do the things that you feel like doing each day. It is so good for your soul. That's it from me for today, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye.